Okay, so it seems like we have some more information on Nijisanji. Now, obviously, Nijisanji has been under a lot of fire lately from a lot of people, due to a lot of situations that have been going on with the company, including things like the Aster Arcadia situation and even more. I mean, there's been multiple situations going on behind the scenes of the company, which many people have been calling out over online, and also getting in contact with places to kind of find some kind of resolution to this. Now, obviously, Nijisanji has actually put out a response to this, essentially talking about defamation and damages and things like that. And obviously, they say this. Notice regarding the response to the dissemination of information that damages the honor and reputation of our affiliated livers. Thank you very much for your continued support of the virtual liver group Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. Recently, we confirmed instances of individuals sending texts or information that damage the honor and reputation of our affiliated livers to our business partners, including creators and client companies. This includes inciting such actions on social media or internet bulletin boards. Among these actions, there are communications and posts that can be objectively recognized as having the purpose of unjustly interfering with the activities of our affiliated livers. While we are conducting detailed investigations into each of these cases with the cooperation of relevant parties, we hereby declare that we'll take legal action, both civil and criminal, against actions that constitute illegal defamation or business interference. We would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to those who have provided information regarding these actions and to the fans who consistently support our affiliated livers. Furthermore, if you discover posts on social media or anonymous bulletin boards that incite such actions, we would greatly appreciate it if you could report them using the report form for aggressive or defamatory behavior on our corporate website. Lastly, please note that we're unable to respond to inquiries regarding this matter. We kindly ask you to refrain from contacting our company or our affiliated livers, including any contact via social media, comments during streams, and from making inquiries to our stakeholders. So again, that is the full message that Nijisanji has put out there, kind of talking about defamation and damages, right? And yeah, it's a pretty scary one for a lot of people, I guess, who have been pretty outspoken about this situation. But again, this is usually something that a lot of companies do to actually scare people away. Now, obviously, they could be 100% serious here and are actually looking into a lot of cases here. But again, you do need to remember that, for a defamation case to happen, the things that, that person is talking about has to be untrue. And so far, it doesn't seem like a lot of the stuff is untrue. A lot of the stuff, for example, that me and other YouTubers have covered, have been also like investigated by Nijisanji themselves. So they are kind of, saying that this kind of stuff does exist. So again, in terms of like YouTubers and things, I don't think there's any problem, but I could understand that there probably is some problems going on behind, chat boards and things like that, as they specifically mentioned multiple times during that post. They talk about like anonymous chat messages and bulletins, right? Because again, there is probably a lot of places like that that are probably spreading false information about the Nijisanji talent, which I can understand taking action against. But obviously, for the ones that are actually pointing at real life things that have happened and actually pointing at the facts, well, obviously, Nijisanji can't just sue them for defamation if it's true. That's the whole point of defamation. You can't, win a defamation case if the thing is true, which obviously, yeah, I mean, that's just to kind of, give you guys an idea of exactly how screwed a lot of these people are, right? It's probably not going to be the biggest of deals. Obviously, as well, they talk about the fact of like, please refrain from talking to our stakeholders and things. So I think what has been happening recently is a lot of people have been trying to interfere with the kind of partners of Nijisanji, whether that's sponsors and people that are kind of partnering up with Nijisanji, whether that's like kind of like a collaboration thing. For example, Nijisanji do like a collaboration with a game or whatever, right? Obviously, people will then go to that game and be like, hey, why are you partnering with them? Did you know this happened, and this happened? Obviously, that is also something that, they're looking into as part of the business kind of, what do they call it? Business interference. Which obviously would be a problem as well, I guess, for them. And yeah, the same with the stakeholders too. Apparently, people have been making inquiries to the stakeholders about what is actually going on at Nijisanji. Because again, obviously, many people are very confused and very unhappy with Nijisanji at the moment, with how they've treated a lot of these situations that have been going on with Aster Arcadia and with Dokibird and everything like that, right? There's been some pretty terrible things that have been going on. But again, we recently had Reimu coming out as indie VTuber as Marie FD, right? And essentially saying that she was finally free and stuff like that. Like a lot of her wording during her stream was very like, yeah, it sounds like someone who just got like out of like 10 years in prison or so. That's how it kind of sounded to me whenever she was speaking on the live stream. So obviously it seems like a lot of people have been pretty unhappy with it, whether that's in the company or outside of the company. And obviously that can't be a defamation case because, again, that is literally just people's feelings on, how they feel that the company is going at the moment, right? So again, obviously a lot of people have been kind of looking on this. It's got 4.7 million views. They also put out a little article as well, I'm pretty sure, just saying exactly the same thing over on their website. But again, a lot of people over in Japan have been commenting on this. This does cover all of them, obviously, because they talk about the fact of like Nijisanji EN as well. They don't like miss out anybody else. But again, so it does actually include a lot of the stuff that's been going on the EN side. It isn't just JP's side, despite obviously this being in Japanese and this, a lot of people commenting on it in Japanese, which I think is pretty interesting. He was saying, as the number of EN livers working hard in Japan has increased, it's reassuring to see these solid checks in place. Obviously, there's a lot of support for them as well, because obviously many people want them to keep their livers safe. And I do actually understand, as much as people hate Nijisanji, I understand them wanting to protect their livers and wanting to protect what is going on. And obviously that would be like, a rare case for Nijisanji, because we know how they are kind of dealing with some of their livers problems. So again, obviously it is a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of, some of these actions are good in terms of protections against their, talent. But also at the same time, we do know a lot of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and people still, want them to be held accountable to that, and rightly so, because again, we still haven't got the results from the Aster Arcadia investigation back, which they said word for word that they were going to return, and they were going to come back and show us exactly what was going on behind the scenes there. But they just ended up, graduating him or terminating him, or whatever you want to say, and they haven't really said anything else. Obviously people are starting to get a little bit frustrated because, again, they want them to be transparent, they want them to be a good company, but they're just not. That's what's really happened here. A lot of people are just like fed up at the fact that they're not getting the information that they want, and they're not being transparent enough that as they want, and obviously that then causes obviously a lot of people to go and spread lies. And I think that is where a big problem that Nijisanji is facing at the moment. I think that if they were much more transparent with what was going on and actually honest with a lot of these situations, I think that would actually slow down a lot of the defamation and misinformation that goes around about them. Because again, if you keep things very tight-lipped and very, very to yourself and not really tell anybody what is going on, then people are going to speculate, right? Whereas if you're transparent and actually, say exactly what has happened, then people are just going to talk about what actually happened. And I think that is two different kind of cases there, right? Now, obviously, people still will speculate. They still will make up rumors and things based off of that information. But at the same time, you will, kind of eliminate any of these kind of crazy accusations that go their way, which obviously, might be untrue. But again, obviously, it seems like Nijisanji won't be budging whenever it comes to being transparent, because we all know that, the company is not great at the moment, at least. And obviously a lot of people are extremely fed up with it. And yeah, it seems like they are just trying to, I guess, threaten a lot of people with legal action now. And I think that this is, like, me personally, I do think this is just one of these things where they're trying to scare people, into like not kind of talking about it or whatever, due to the fact of them saying that they're going to take legal action for, defamatory stuff. But as I said, you've got to remember that you can only, take someone to court for defamatory kind of reasons if, they actually have been defamatory. If it's 100% true, then, obviously they're not going to be taken to court over it, or they could be, but they'll probably lose, because again, there is no case for it. And even proving that people have defamed people in other countries is extremely hard. I don't know about in Japan. Obviously, I know it is quite bad over there. And, if you have, defamed someone, then, it is quite a common thing, and you can get quite a heavy kind of punishment for it. But over in like the US and places, sometimes it's extremely hard to prove defamation, and you have to have like proof of like financial losses and things like that, which obviously they would also have to kind of show here. But again, I'm not seeing any proof of financial losses yet, so we'll have to wait and see if they show anything to do with that. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially an update on Nijisanji. I just kind of wanted to give you guys that because, again, I thought it was very interesting that they are trying to put out these kind of, I guess, threatening messages to a lot of people that have been talking about the situations that have been going on. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.